So today just we'll go for one important topic, that is the organic farming and introspection. So all of you know that the organic farming is the buzzword nowadays. Instead of going into details, we'll go for some of the basic concepts of the organic farming. What is the use of the organic farming? How organic farming is helpful to the scientific community. We will have a general discussion, basic discussion. We will not go into detail because this topic is very vast. So I will try to cover some of the important aspects of the organic farming. So when we say organic farming is nothing but as part of the sustainable agriculture. So all of you know we are using this word sustainable agriculture. What is the meaning of the sustainable agriculture? Sustainable agriculture says it is the system that helps to attain the goal of sustainable development. Means when we talk in terms of the agriculture, we are talking in terms of the development. Now this word sustainable, it is derived from two important words. It is Latin, sus or sus means below and terrain means to hold. So meaning of this sustainable is existence, maintenance, long-term support or permanence. Means whatever we are doing in case of the agriculture at the sustainable part, we have to go for existence. Our agriculture should go for existence for so many years. We have to maintain the production, productivity, fertility for long-term support and as well as the permanence. So this is the general meaning of the sustainable agriculture. But as far as the agriculture word and sustainable word, when we correlate together, what the sustainability in agriculture means. Now it says that farming systems that are capable of maintaining productivity and usefulness to society indefinitely. So this is the meaning of sustainability in agriculture. Means what we are talking about, we are talking about the system. Which system? The farming system. And that farming system are capable. In what way it is capable? Maintaining the productivity. We have to maintain the productivity of the soil. And in addition to that, we have to see the usefulness of that agriculture to the society indefinitely. Means it should not fall short. So this is the meaning of the, we can say the sustainability agriculture. So when we say the systems, farming systems, what points are important in case of the farming system as far as the sustainability is concerned? So first part is the conservation of the resources. We must know that the resources are very limited and we have to conserve them properly. Second part is support to the society. Means when we go for the agriculture, we have to grow the food, and this food is going to support the society in many ways. In case of the nutrition, in case of the livelihood, in case of the increasing the socio-economic status, then compete commercially. Means our agriculture should compete commercially with other businesses. And very important part is it should be environment friendly. Means while going for the agriculture, while going for the sustainability agriculture, we have to say that it should be environmental friendly. Means environment should not be deteriorated under any condition as far as the sustainability agriculture is concerned. You should understand that sustainability is a part of the organic farming. Now, the sustainable agriculture, it is defined by the FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization, in a very simple way. What FAO says, sustainable agriculture is the successful management of the resources. So understand the meaning management is very important. What we are doing is the successful management of the resources. So definition of the management is efficient utilization of the resources itself. Means management itself define efficient utilization of the resources. While sustainable agriculture says that successful management of the resources of agriculture. First part, we have to manage the resources in successful manner. To satisfy the changing human needs. We know the day by day the human needs are changing. And we have to satisfy all the human needs in terms of the food, nutrition, security, etc. So we have to satisfy the changing human needs. While doing this, what is important? Maintaining or enhancing the quality of the environment. Means while going for the agriculture, we have to maintain the environment. We have to maintain the ecological system. We have to maintain ecosystem. Side by side, we have to enhance the quality of the environment also. We should not deteriorate the environment. And at last, conserving natural resources. So this is a very comprehensive definition given by Food and Agriculture Organization. I hope you understood what is the incentive, what is the intention of the FAO. We will manage the resources, will satisfy human needs, will maintain the quality, enhance the quality of the environment, and we will also conserve the natural resources. So in all, when we say the sustainable agriculture, emphasis it should be on the maintenance of the agriculture growth rate. Means our growth rate of the agriculture should go on increasing without draining the basic resources. Means we will not utilize, we will not exploit all the resources. We'll conserve the resources as well. So two important part in case of the agriculture, that is the sustainable agriculture, is the agriculture growth rate. Next part is the working definition. So when we say the sustainable agriculture, many of the researchers, we can say scientists, farmers, policymakers, and many organizations come together and they think what should be the simple definition or what should be the working definition as far as the sustainable agriculture is concerned. So it says that sustainable agriculture is ecologically feasible, economically viable, socially justifiable, and kind to humanity. So this is a very important working definition. What we are talking about, the agriculture should be ecologically feasible, means we have to maintain the ecological balance. If you disturb the ecological balance and if you are going to produce the food, that is going to disturb the environment. Second part is economically viable. So economically viable means that whatever operations we are carrying out to produce the feed, it should not go in a negative manner. Means the farmer which are growing the food, he should get some benefit from it. That is economically viable. Otherwise, what is going to happen? We are spending more and more and more and more money, and we are earning the produce. In that case, the farmer may get in loss. So that should not be the condition. It should be economically viable, socially justifiable. It should be socially justifiable. Every sector of the society should get the benefit, and it is kind to the humanity also. Means the humanity is very important part. We have to look into matter while taking into consideration all the resources. Means while going for the sustainable agriculture, humanity should not be exploited at much more rate. So as far as the sustainable agriculture is considered, we have to go for the four goals. Our four goals are very important. First is the applied agricultural system, production and marketing, processing and consumptions. So these are the four goals that we have to see in case of the sustainable agriculture. Agriculture system, this definition, whatever definition we are learning, it related to the agriculture system. Whatever the concept there, we have to apply in the agriculture system, and that is going to help for the production. And after production, we have to go for the marketing of the system, marketing of the production, earning money, then processing of the products, and at the end user, it is the consumptions. So that we have to consideration while going for the sustainable agriculture. Now see, when we talk in terms of the sustainable agriculture, we have to take into consideration two basic things. Means first part is the traditional concept as well as the scientific advancement. Because most of the time we have seen that we are using only scientific advances, only scientific technologicals. But whatever our forefathers are doing, we have to take into consideration the traditional method, the traditional ways by which our forefathers are farming. So it is a blend of a traditional system as well as the scientific advancements. Means what in this case we have to go for the approach. Which approach? Integrated approach, nature-based ecosystem approach, resource conserving approach, and the productive approach. Productive in terms of the short-term approach as well as the long-term. Means we have to think in terms of short terms also, but while taking the short term, we should not avoid the long-term policy. Otherwise, what we are going to say, we will earn the money, will earn the produce, but at the long term, the quality of the soil may deteriorate. Now, we have seen most of the time, the heavy feeder crops like the sugar cane, in most of the areas, they are going sugar cane. They are earning money from the sugar cane. But if you see the soils are becoming saline, means for getting the short-term basis, they are deteriorating the soils. In long term, the soil are going to deteriorate and it is not going to produce any good quality matter next time. Now, coming to our topic, that is organic farming. So what is the organic farming? It is one of the approach. There are different approaches of the farming, that are different approaches of the agriculture. Out of that approaches, agriculture or organic farming, it is one of the approach to meet objective of sustainable agriculture. Means sustainable agriculture, organic farming is a part of the sustainable agriculture. So sustainable farming or organic farming is also called as sustainable farming. But see, organic farming and sustainable farming, these are the two different terms, policy wise and ethic wise also. In case of the sustainable farming, we are interested in intercropping, growing intercrops. We are interested in mulching. We are interested in integration of the crops. And we are also interested in livestock also. So these parts come from the sustainable farming. But when we say the organic farming has based on some rules. Rules are there, regulations are there, certification programs are there. So if you try to differentiate between organic farming and sustainable farming, organic farming is abide by the rules and regulations, certification program that prohibits the use of almost all synthetic inputs and health of the soils. Means we have to see in terms of we should not use at all the synthetic inputs that deteriorate the health of the soil. This is the basic aim, or we can say the basic concept of the organic farming. I think all of you understood the difference between organic farming and sustainable farming. Do you getting me? Any problem? Hello? Just please someone respond. Hello?
Hello, हाँ जी sir.
हाँ आ रहा है, समझ में आ रहा है ना?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. Just someone respond so that otherwise I will go on speaking. No one is responding. Okay. Thank you.
No sir. Actually sir, questions will be taken in the last actually sir.
Okay.
Yes sir. If it is my request to all the participants, if they have anything in between, they can definitely put in the chat box. Sir. No problem sir.
Okay, so I'm continuing. Okay.
No sir. Your voice is also audible, sir. No problem.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now, when we say the organic products or organic produce that we get, that comes from the use of without use of the chemical fertilizers and pesticides, and environmental friendly and socially justifiable. Means we are going to use the material that is environmental friendly, that is socially justifiable. So we are not going to use the chemicals. We are not going to use the synthetic material that will give you the produce. Now this organic farming, it works at very grassroots level. What is the importance of this organic farming? It works at very grassroots level. It preserves. We'll see what it preserves. The productive and regenerative capacity of the soil. That is very important. Means we are going to add the organic material to the soil, organic material or decomposing material that comes from the organic produce. This produce will help to preserve the reproductive and the regenerative capacity of the soil. Means the reproduction, whatever the material we are getting from the soil, it is going to preserve. The soil is going to regenerate. If you are not going to add the organic matter to the soil is going to become a dead soil, because this organic matter plays very important role. As we know, it plays very important role for the nutrition, it very important role for the physical property, it plays very important role for the microbial population. And this microbial population, as we all know, it is helpful for the nutrient release, decomposition and degradation of the organic material. And this will be this organic material or organic produce that we are going to add, it is going to preserve this. This is going to be helpful for the plant nutrition. This is going to helpful for the soil management. And this organic farming, it is also helpful for the soil management and production of the nutritious food that is very rich nutrients food, we can say, that is pest and disease free. This is the main aim or motto of the organic farming. So preservation is important, reproduction is important, regeneration is important, then nutrition is important, soil management is important, and at the end user is that we get the good nutritious food. Up till now, this is the concept. But what is happening up till now? Since last so many years, we are following the non-sustainable agriculture. We are using the, so someone has raised the hand, we'll discuss later on. The farming being practiced last 5 decades, that is called a non-sustainable. So non-sustainable means what? High production without much concern of the ecology. This is related to the, what we can say, the non-sustainable agriculture. Non-sustainable agriculture has the this is important. This concept goes for the only production. They only want the material. They only want the more and more production, but they are not concerned with the ecology. So this non-sustainable agriculture has the adverse effect. It has adverse effect on the farm. It has adverse effect on health of all living things, because we are going to use many of the chemicals material into the field, and indirectly the residue is left behind, and that will come into the food chain, and it is going to hamper the health of the human beings, and at last the degradation of the environment also. So this is the non-sustainable. That's why we are not interested in non-sustainable agriculture. We are interested in sustainable agriculture, and that's why we are going to go for the organic system or organic farming. So now next comes the application of the technology, particularly in terms of the use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides, because most of the time in non-sustainable agriculture, we are going to use the different technologies, and we are using lots of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So what is the effect of this non-sustainable agriculture? So non-sustainable agriculture is having very negative effects on the environment. So it may have the soil erosion, it may have water shortages, it may have salinization or salination. So we know, we'll not go into details regarding, because there are, say, 3 different types of the effect can be, negative effects can be studied on the physical properties. What are the effect on the physical properties? For example, bulk density, water holding capacity, etc. What is the effect of this non-sustainable agriculture on the chemical properties, means pH, electrical conductivity, nutrient availability. Then we can have the negative effect on the biological properties. So all these negative effects can be studied very well. Now, to avoid all these things, we can choose organic farming. It is the best alternative to avoid the ill effects of the chemical farmings. The origin of organic farming goes back in the history. In 1940 it was started. During this period, the path-breaking literature was published by J.R. Rodell in the United States, Lady Balfour in England, and Sir Albert Howard in India. So Sir Albert Howard is related with the organic farming in India, that had contributed to the cause of organic farming. So what is the organic culture or organic farming? In a very simple way. In a very simple way, we say organic farming or organic culture is the production system. It is nothing but the production system with optimum utilization of the local resources. Means we are using the optimized. We are not using too much. Means heavy organic material is also not expected, and low level of their low organic content is also not expected. And these material should come from the local resources. Means the local resources material can be used. Otherwise, if you are going to bring it from the far away places or from the different places, then the transport cost will increase and you will have the less monetary returns. So we have to take into consideration the production system with optimum utilization of local resources. Means we'll go for optimization and as well as the utilization of the local resources. These are the 2 basic concepts of the organic farming, and we can say the organic culture. Now, lots of definitions are there in case of the organic farming, but we do not have any comprehensive definition. but some of the work that has been work on the organic farming. So, for example, most of the organic farmers or organic consumers expect that organic farming methods should include natural, that is not chemical growth and production methods such as crop rotations, mechanical cultivations, animal manures, green manures, and integrated pest management. This is the concept. This is the demand from the most of the person dealing with the organic matter. But in 1980, the USDA released a landmark report on organic farming. This was one of the important reports of the organic farming, and it defined, that report defined organic farming. USDA defined production systems. What are the agriculture production system is there that avoids or largely excludes the use of synthetic organic fertilizers, pesticides, growth regulators, and livestock feed additives. Means this is a very proper definition given by the USDA. Whenever we or whatever be the production system, that should avoid or largely excludes the synthetic organic fertilizer. We should not use the chemical fertilizers. We should not use the chemical pesticides. We should not use the growth regulators that is having the chemicals. And we should not go for the livestock feed additives also. If you are devoid of all these things, then it can be called as the organic farming. So organic farming systems, it largely depends. First part is the crop rotation. As we know, crop rotation is very important aspect. It is one of the important systems which is helpful for the getting benefits of the legume followed by the cereals, etc. So that the different cropping, different rooting systems, and they can uptake the nutrients from the different depth of the soil. Second part is the crop residues. So whatever the material that is left into the soil, that is going to help. Means after degradation and decomposition of that residue material, organic material, that are going to use for the release of the nutrient into soil. That is going to use, that is going to helpful for the increasing the microbial population. Animal manures, green manures, off-farm organic wastes. Means whatever the organic waste that is not produced in your farm, but you can use it. Mechanical cultivation, mineral backing rocks, an aspect of the biological control to maintain soil productivity, supply plant nutrients, and to control insects, pathogens, and the weeds. So all these aspects come under the organic farming. But we have to take into consideration, or what we have to look into matter, that we should not use any sort of the chemical. We should not use any sort of the material. We should not use any synthetic material that should add to the soil, so that the quality of the soil is deteriorated and quality of the material or produce is also deteriorated. So according to Codex definition, that is also given by the FAO. It has very simple definitions. Organic agriculture, or we can say organic farming, is the production management system. See, very important words, production management system. I have already told you, production we know very well. Management is the efficient utilization of the resources. So whatever production we are going to take into the field, we are using the material from the field itself, natural resources, that promotes and enhance agro ecosystem health. Means whatever material we are going to use in this production management system, that is helpful for what purpose? That should promote and enhance agro ecosystem health. Means agro ecosystem health should not be deteriorated. We have to maintain the ecological balance. And in that case, we have to go for the biodiversity, biological cycles, and biological activity. So see, USDA has already given one definition. From the same form, another definition has been given. So in this, it is very wide now. It talks in terms of the biodiversity. It talks in terms of the biocycles. It talks in terms of the biological activity. It talks of the agro ecosystem health. So these are all related to the organic culture or inorganic, sustainable agriculture. We are not going to consider in this case. Now emphasizes what this organic agriculture or this what definition emphasizes. This definition emphasizes the use of management practices in preference to the use of farm inputs, regional conditions, and locally adapted systems. So you should understand, in this case, we are going to use the produce or product that we get from our own field itself or from the region where it is locally adopted. And we are going to bring that material and we are going to use into our field itself. On-farm agronomic, biological, and mechanical methods as opposed to using synthetic material to fulfill any specific function within system. That means we are going to use the agronomic farming system, biological systems, and the mechanical methods. But that should be from farm itself. We have not to bring the material from the outside so that the system will be spoiled. So this is the relation of the definition given by the FAO. Now, organic farming, we know our organic farming already discussed. We already discussed it is the form of the agriculture. Now it depends on various aspects. We already seen or heard about that. It depends upon the crop rotation. We must go for the crop rotation in case of the organic farming. We must depend on the green manuring. We must depend on the composting. We must depend upon biological pest control. We are not going to use any chemical for controlling the pest. Organically approved pesticides applications means that pesticides we are going to use that has been approved by the government agency and that is organically approved. Then mechanical cultivation to maintain soil productivity. Control of the pests, excluding or strictly limiting use of synthetic fertilizers, synthetic pesticides, plant growth regulators, livestock in antibiotics, food additives, and genetically modified organisms. So these are all terms that are related to the organic farming. So organic agriculture methods are internationally regulated. So we know that this concept comes from very different nations, or India is also following the concept, but it has been regulated by internationally regulated and legally enforced by many nations, based in large part of the standards set by the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement, that is called as IFOAM, an international umbrella organization for organic organization that is establishment in 1972. This IFOM is regulating the organic system in all over the world. Now, this IFOM also defined the organic farming. The definition given by the organic farming in case of the IFOM is the organic agriculture is a production system that sustains the health of the soil, ecosystem, as well as the people. Now see, if we already seen three definitions. We have seen the definition of USDA, we have seen the definition of the Codex. Now this IFOM have defined. This also consider it as the production system. Earlier we have seen the management of the production system. Now it is saying that it is a production system that sustains the health of the soil. Now here the priority is given to the health of the soil. Physical health, chemical health, biological health, all the systems, we have to go for the maintaining health of the soils. There are different indicators, quality parameters. Then we have to take into consideration the ecosystems also. Means ecosystem we have to take into consideration. And last and the end user is the people. Means this health of the soil, if it is not properly maintained, the ecosystem it is not properly maintained by organic culture, then definitely it is going to hamper the health of the people. These are the three important concepts that is given by the IFOM definitions. Now this, it depends on ecological process. It relies, its emphasis on ecological process, different ecological processes, biodiversity, and cycles adapted to the local conditions, rather than the use of inputs with adverse effects. So see, we have to go for the ecological processes, maintaining or balancing ecological processes. We have to take into consideration the biodiversity and cycles adapted to the local conditions. Means if you are staying in particular regions, you have to see the agroclimatic zone of that particular area, and accordingly what material is available with you, that you have to use for the organic farming. You should not use the material or input that have the adverse effect, or we should not bring the material from the outside that is going to hamper the concept of the organic farming. So organic agriculture combines, very important part is the traditional. Means we are going to use for the traditional also, traditional methods, innovations, new technologies that develop, and science to benefit the shared environment and promote fair relationship and a good quality of life for all involved. So see, we are using the all the methods. We are going to use the traditionals, we are going to use the innovations, recent innovations, and also we are going to use the scientific technologies that is going to help the environment, and this is going to maintain the fair relationship between the quality of the life for all those, means in case of the farmers, in case of the soil, in case of the plant, everywhere it have the fair relationships. Now, very important part of the organic farming is the principles. So as we know, every concept or every technology, it is based on some principles. If principles are not there, then that system is going to collapse. So in case of the organic farming also, we have some important principles. So that principle we have to take into considerations. The principle of organic agriculture serves to inspire the organic movement in its full diversity. We have to go for the organic movement and we have to use the full diversity. These principles will form the roots from which organic agriculture grows and develops. They express the contribution that organic agriculture can make to the world and a vision to improve all agriculture in the global context. So this is the basic principles. Unless and until we know the principles, we cannot go for the organic farming. Not only in organic farming, in every human, everyday life, day-to-day life, we have to go for working with the principles. If you are not going to follow the principles, then definitely the system is going to be collapsed. So same thing happens in case of the organic farming or sustainable agriculture also. There are some definite principles that we are going to study. So first part is the principle of the health. So when we talk in terms of the principle of the health for the organic farming, organic agriculture should sustain and enhance the health of the soil, plant, animal, human, and planet as one and indivisible. So going for the organic farming, we have very important concept is that of the health. Health in terms of the soils also. We have to look in terms of the whether the health of the soil is degraded or not, whether the soil has become saline or whether the soil has become alkaline or whether the soil has become any other disease, pest or wilting soil. Every concept of the soil we have to consider. We have to see the physical, chemical and biological properties. Different index will consider for health of the soil. We have to see the health of the plant also. We should not add the material to the soil that has either deficiency or a toxicity or any attack of the pest and diseases. Then we have to talk in terms of the animal also. While going for the organic farming, we have to take into consideration the animals. We have to take into consideration the human. We have to take into consideration the whole planet and every part that is indivisible, that we have to consideration into the in terms of the principle of the health. If we are not going to go for the this principle of the health, then definitely the organic farming is going to be a disaster. It is not going to help for the any entity on the earth itself. So this principle points out that the health of the individuals and communities cannot be separated from the health of the ecosystems. Very important part. See, we cannot get separate. Healthy soils produce healthy crops that foster the health of animals and people. That means if you want to go for the organic farming, we have to maintain the first important part is the health of the soil. This health of the soil is going to produce the healthy crops, and that is going to make you disease free. That is going to make you the disease free, and you will lifelong will be improved. The life expectancy will be improved in case of the animals and in case of the people also. So this is what we can say the principle of health. We have to, while going for the organic farming, we have to go for the principle of the health. So in general, we can say I will tell about the health. Health is the wholeness and integrity of the living systems. It is not simply the absence of illness. We are seeing that if someone is saying that I am not ill, that means he is not healthy, but the maintenance of the physical, mental, social and ecological well-being, immunity, resilience, regeneration are the key characteristic of the health. हमको लगता है कि हम बीमार नहीं है, लेकिन बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि हम मेंटली फिट नहीं होते, सोशली फिट नहीं होते, फिजिकली फिट नहीं होते, इसका मतलब होता है हम बीमार होते हैं. तो इन दैट केस वी हैव टू गो फॉर द थिंग्स ऑफ द इम्यूनिटी, वी हैव टू थिंक इन टर्म्स ऑफ resilience, and we have to think in terms of the regeneration of ourselves. That are what we can say the key characteristics of the health itself. Then the role of agriculture, whether the farming, processing, distribution, or consumption. See, 4 parts are there. Either it may be farming, it may be processing, it may be distribution, or it may be consumption, is to sustain and enhance the health of the ecosystem. The health should be sustained, the ecosystem should be have the disease-free organisms from the smallest in the soil to the human beings, that health should be maintained. In particular, organic agriculture intend to produce high quality, nutritious food that contributes to preventive health care and well-being. That is the important part of the principle of health. In view of this, it should avoid the use of the fertilizers, pesticides, animal drugs, and food additives that may have adverse effect on the health of the soil and thereby causing a disease to the human beings too. Then next one is the principle of the ecology. Madam? Hello? Gaware,
Yes,
madam?
sir. Yes, sir.
Shall I continue because time is...
Sir, actually time is 4:45, but you can continue for another 5 minutes, so that we can have 1 or 2 questions also, sir, if possible.
Okay. Because I can go up to 1 hour also, but I think your time is short, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So actually, like if we are having 2-3 minutes extra, then we can have 1 or 2 important questions also, sir.
Okay, we'll just finish these principles and then we'll stop. Okay.
Okay, sir. No problems. Yes.
Okay. Now, second principle is that is principle of the ecology. We have seen the principles of the health, then we can have the principles of ecology. So organic agriculture should be based on living ecological systems and cycles, work with them and emulate them and help sustain them. Means when we go for the organic farming or organic culture, we have to see the ecological system should not be disturbed, the cycle should not be disturbed. We have to work with the ecological system, we have to work with the economical system so that we can help and we can work together. This principle of ecology has the roots organic agriculture with living ecosystem. It states that the production is to based on ecological process and recycling. Means whatever material we are removing from the soil, we have to add it to the soil also. Recycling should be very important so that the ecosystem will not be disturbed. So nourishment and well-being are achieved through the ecology of the specific production environment. For example, in the case of the crops, this is living soils. For animal, it is the farm ecosystems. For fish, marine organisms, the aquatic environment. So all this is related to the own itself. For example, crop, then we can talk in terms of soil. So soil is the ecological system for the crop. For the animal, farm ecosystem. For the fish, aquatic environment. So we have to work according to the ecology. So organic farming, that is pastoral, wild harvest system should fit the cycles and ecological balance in the nature. These cycles are universal, but their cooperation is very site specific. See, very important part. We have to go for the operation that is very site specific, and that should not disturb the ecological balance of the nature. It should not disturb the cycle of the nature. That is the principle of the ecology. Next part, organic management must be adapted to the local conditions, ecology, culture, and the scales. And again and again saying that we have to use the local condition, we have to see the local environment, we have to go for the local ecological system. What is the local culture and what is the local scale? What is the requirement of the particular area? What is the requirement of the particular people? That we have to take into consideration. If it is not accepted by the society, it is not accepted by the people, that it's of no use. So we have to go for the local condition. So inputs that we are going to add should be reduced by reuse, recycling, and efficient management of materials and energy in order to maintain and improve environmental quality and conserve resources. Organic agriculture should ecological balance. How we are going to maintain ecology balance? Through the designing of the farming system. We have to design the farming system so well so that you can use the organic material into the soil itself. Establishment of the habitat and maintenance of the genetic and agricultural diversity. If you are going to do this, then definitely we are going to manage the ecological balance. Those who produce, see, very important statement, those who produce, process, trade, or consume organic product, their responsibility is to protect and benefit the common environment, including landscape, climate, habitat, biodiversity, air, and the water. So just only production is not important. Earning money is not important, but our important thing is that we have to protect and the common environment, whatever the natural resources we have to protect it. Then and then it can become successful organic farming. Now, third principle is the principle of the fairness. Organic agriculture should build on relationship that ensure fairness with regard to the common environment and life opportunities. We have to be very fair for every aspect that we are dealing with. Fairness is characterized by equity. We have to maintain equality. We have to maintain equilibrium. We have to go for respects, justice, and stewardship of the shared world, both among people and their relation to other living beings. So if you are not going to fair with each other, then this concept is not going to be fulfilled. This principle emphasizes that those involved in organic agriculture should conduct human relationships in a manner that ensures fairness at all levels and to all parties. That means the farmers have a relation with the workers, they have a relation with the processors, they have a relation with the distributors, trades, and the consumers. All this should have fair relationship with them. No one should cheat to other. That is the principle of the fairness. So, for example, whatever we are saying, the most of the time the farmers are selling the products, the dealers are taking the produce in a very low cost, and they are selling the produce in the market at a very high cost. And the farmers who is producing the crop for whole the year is not getting that much money. That means this system is not going to fair, because the producer is getting less marketing, less money, and the trader is getting the more money. That is not allowed in case of the organic farming principles of fairness. Organic agriculture should provide everyone involved in the good quality of the life that contribute to food sovereignty and reduction in the poverty. That is our aim. That is not for this fairness is not applicable in case of organic farming. In general life also, we have to go for the good quality of the life. We have to contribute to the food sovereignty, and we have to go for the reduction of poverty at the national level as well as international levels. It should aim to produce a sufficient supply of good quality food and other products. So this is the principle of the fairness. This principle insists that animals should be provided with conditions and opportunity of life in accordance with their physiology, natural behavior, and the well-being. We are using lots of the animal in case of the agriculture industry. So we have to provide all the feed, fodder, everything that is required by the animals. They have to go for the condition, opportunities of their life also. Therefore, what is the physiology? What is the conditions? If any organism or animal is not feeling well, we have to go for their treatment at a very early stage, so that the animals or organisms are not going to be deteriorate of the health. So we have to go for natural behavior. So natural and environmental resources that are used for the production and consumption should be managed in a way that is socially and ecologically justifiable. That is very important. We have to think it of the social, not only ecological, and social and ecological, and should be held in trust for future generations. What we are going to do, it is going to helpful for the future generations. Hence, this principle of fairness applied in that case. Fairness requires system production, distribution, and trade that are open. It should not be hidden one. Everything is should be open, equitable, and account for the real environmental and the social cost. So these are the concept that comes under the principle of the fairness. Last one is the principle of the care. Organic agriculture should be managed in precautionary and responsible manner to protect the health and well-being of current and future generation and the environment. It should have a living and dynamic system that respond to internal, external demands and the conditions. We have to think what are the external demands, what are the internal demands, and what are the conditions that are required for the organic farming. Practitioners of organic agriculture can enhance efficiency and increase productivity, but this should not be at the risk of the jeoparding health and well-being of the human beings. Consequently, new technologies need to be assessed, and existing methods that we are adopting nowadays should be reviewed. This principle states that precautions and responsibility are the key concerns in management, development, and technology choices in organic agriculture. Science is necessary to ensure that organic agriculture is having healthy, safe and based systems. We have to, when we talk in terms of the science, we'll say that it should be healthy, it should be safety, and it should be ecological sound. However, scientific knowledge alone is not sufficient. What is sufficient is the practical experience, accumulated wisdoms, and traditional and indigenous knowledge offer valid solutions tested by the time. So unless and until we have sufficient experience, accumulated wisdom, traditional indigenous knowledge, we cannot go for a solution that will tested by the time. Organic agriculture should prevent significant risk by adopting appropriate technologies and rejecting unpredictable ones, such as genetic engineering. Decisions should reflect the values and needs of all who might be affected through transparent and participatory processes. So we have to take in terms of the organic farming will reflect the values and need all who might be affected, that we should be rejected through transparent and participatory process. So this is regarding the very I can say a brief discussion regarding the organic. Lots of I can talk, but since the paucity of the time, will stop here. Thank you.